Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Here we go, baby, here we go. Aaron Nola continues to dominate. This is a beautiful outing. Now, I will say, it wasn't as if he had the best stuff in the world. We have seen Aaron Nola better, but just the fact that he can still be this dominant and not at his A game is truly remarkable. As you saw, the use of the changeup, obviously that fastball, but the curveball as well. The changeup, though, the way he uses that changeup, though, is incredible. It's fun to watch, especially on righties. Very entertaining, and I loved what I saw out of Aaron Nola. He goes 7 innings. He battles with the pitch count early. He threw 26 pitches in the first inning. He did strike out 3 hitters, Pete Alonso being one of them, when he did allow a couple runners on base there in that first. 26 pitches, a lot to handle, but he followed that up with only 7 in the second. So he found a way. He was grinding at times, and at times he was putting guys back into the dugout. He finished with 8 strikeouts, so he continues this hot streak that he's on when it comes to putting up that K on the scoreboard. And it was beautiful. Flat out beautiful. Loved it. The real question is, what was better? Aaron Nola's performance or what Rhys Hoskins did in the 5th, because that was huge. That was a difference-making at-bat, and you saw Rhys in his first at-bat do something so stupid, so silly. 3-0 count, here comes a pitch, and what? You popped it up in foul territory? You can't do that, Rhys. You gotta be smarter than that. You need to be better than that. So after an abysmal first AB, he delivered. He delivered. So what was better? What was the true moment? I know in reality it was both, but the question is, what was better? Aaron Nola staying on his ride of being able to perform at a high level, or Rhys Hoskins possibly, and I say possibly because I don't know, but possibly getting out of that slump? I don't know if one hit is the difference in him getting into a different groove, but hey, a hot streak starts with 1 hit. Was that 1 hit big enough? Because you got to remember, this team has been winning because of 2 people. 2, JT and Bryce Harper. And I hate to break the news to you, but that's not something that you can do long term and think that means you are going to win. At some point, someone else is going to have to step up. The rest of the offense is going to have to wake up besides your 3 and 4 hitters who are playing unbelievable baseball, may I add. So it was nice to see Rhys, and that's what you need him to do. You need Rhys Hoskins to produce runs. You need Rhys Hoskins to execute when men are on base. And it's crazy because he actually had Scott Kingery with a chance with the bases loaded. And guess what? He didn't do a damn thing. And Scott Kingery, it is a mess with this guy. He ended up playing center field in this game. It looks like he lost his job at second base. And because of the ugly streak that he's on, he's starting to move around a bit. That's Scott Kingery. I'll tell you what, it is not impressive whatsoever. This episode of Sports Talk with Broads, by the way, is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. And with over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, they are home to your solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. Not only do they provide solar energy, but they also provide water purification systems, clean, healthy water for your family, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. So make sure you check them out online. Their information is in the description. So Bryce Harper finished with 7 innings. Huge, by the way, because we all know that this bullpen is brutal. Allowed 3 hits, walked 2, and 8 strikeouts. I love the fact that he's putting away guys, really. It's so much fun to watch. He had that 12 strikeout performance in 6 innings. Then he had the 10 strikeouts, and now he puts together an outing where he gets 8. The guy is putting it all together, and the broadcast really highlighted that use of the changeup, and I think that's very important because of how much more he's using it. And I think it was Ruben Amaro Jr., actually, who brought up the fact that, hey, You got a new pitching coach in here, Brian Price. And when you get Brian Price's input on a guy like Aaron Nola, it could make a huge difference. And he was kind of putting the pieces together that maybe the use of the changeup going up is because of the addition of Brian Price. And that wouldn't surprise me if that's the case, right? I mean, it does make a lot of sense. And what you're seeing him do, it's just crazy. And if you actually caught the pregame show with Ricky Bo, he had up on the big screen all these great scenarios of Aaron Nola to this point, and keeping the fact that, or looking at the fact that he keeps these counts where he's in attack mode, 1-2 count, 0-2 count, and bang, he's delivering that off speed. Bang, he's delivering that changeup to a righty hitter. It's crazy, the movement on these pitches, but he has that disgusting curveball as well. You just don't know what he's going to utilize, and that's the scary thing. And he's dialed in. And one huge thing to note as well, confidence. He's got the swag at the moment. You can see when he's pitching. You can see when he's going through his delivery. He knows he's got it. He knows it's happening. He feels like he can get it done against any single player who is in that box right now. And I don't know if he had the same confidence last year. There was a point where the ball was getting crushed. It was going over the fence. And we would all go, oh, here's Aaron Nola again in the 6th inning. Things are falling apart for him. But you don't have that anymore. He's getting you deep in the ball games. And when you have this bullpen, because, hey, what would be a Phillies game without the bullpen coming in and allowing some sort of runs? Because it was 6-0. And Rosso comes in for the 8th and the 9th. He allows the home run to Smith. Of course, he allows a couple hits. What would a Phillies game be without the bullpen allowing runs? But the fact that when he's getting into games, you don't really have to rely on your bullpen, that's huge. Oh, by the way, Zach Wheeler on the mound tomorrow to face Porcello, which I believe gives the Phillies a great chance to maybe get some business done against the New York Mets after getting their asses kicked by the Baltimore Orioles. So let's see if they can finish the job. But going back to Aaron Nola, it was magnificent to see him do this again, and it's getting back to that Aaron Nola vibes, where back in 2018, you had to stay home to watch Aaron Nola pitch. You had to put the volume on 80 and watch every single delivery because he was that much fun, because he was cruising through games, because hitters were looking silly, swinging and missing, or getting locked up and not even doing anything, getting confused, walking away pissed, going to the dugout because they know that they should have swung the batter. They know that Aaron Nola fooled them heavily. That's where it's at this point. So much fun. Now, actually, to start the scoring off, you had Gene Segura hit a home run. And he's been showing a little bit of power lately. Not that he's the 40 home run hitter. Let's not blow this away here. But over the last couple games, you've seen him hit the long ball. It does seem like, hey, maybe Gene Segura is starting to get back into the groove of things. I can't stand looking at his batting average. He is a 280 to 300 hitter. Let's get back to that, Gene. Let's figure it out, Gene. And I'm not one of those obnoxious Gene Segura haters. I know that there's plenty of people out there, and I think it's because of what happened to Andrew McCutchen last year, which I think is overblown. I'm not one of those bang on the table type people. You need to run out every single ball in baseball. You need to run to first base every single time. No, I'm sorry. You don't have to. Sorry, you don't have to. That's the old 1975 people. Get off my lawn. This is how it works. You need to hustle every play. No, you don't. I mean, just no, you don't. There's plenty of guys that you loved when they played baseball for the Phillies who didn't hustle every single time. It's physically impossible to run to first base as hard as you possibly can every single time. Now, there are some guys that don't do it enough, and they're a little lazier than others, and I can get behind maybe being frustrated at certain points, but I'm not one of those, you gotta run out every play, Gene Segura, this and that. I think Gene Segura lacks IQ at times. I'm not saying he's the best baseball player in the world. I'm just not as much of a hater as some people are in this city. If you told me See, I'm mad at him because he's not hitting to what he's capable of. If he hits to what he's capable of, and he gives you some of those lazy plays running to first, or he has a mental mistake here and there in the field, but he's hitting 285, 290, I'm not mad at all. I could be frustrated in the moment, but big picture, I'm not frustrated at all. I'm mad at him now because he's not delivering what he can deliver. And I know he can do it because he's done it for so damn long. But anyway, he's starting to hit the long ball again. Maybe that gets him going. Maybe that gets him getting to the point where, he's at the confidence where Aaron Nola is, right? He's at the confidence where Aaron Nola is, to the point he's going up to the plate and he knows, I'm going to get a hit. Or he's going into a game and he knows, I'm going to get 2 hits tonight. I'm going to get 3 hits tonight. That was a Gene Segura we once had. And he's not doing that right now, and he needs to. I'm just praying and hoping that it gets to that point where he starts to, really dial in and get back to the Gene Segura that we need. I would love for him to be more to the top of the lineup in that 2-hole. I mean, I don't like where Rhys Hoskins is. I would like that to be his spot, although I do think we are a little bit farther away from that than, I want to be, if that makes sense. So in the 5th, this is how things happen. Didi got an infield hit. By the way, he finished with 3 hits, so wow, he was phenomenal. Not only phenomenal offensively, phenomenal defensively as well. Actually, Gene Segura made a really nice play too defensively. Flipped it to Didi. Here goes Didi. Turn it to boom. So Didi's bringing it on both sides. He had 3 hits on the day, but Didi gets an infield hit. Goslin gets a hit. He stays relatively decent. I'm not going to say hot because I do think that he cooled off a bit, and we all understood that realistically wasn't who he was, right? Phil Goslin doing what he did, 3 hits a night. That's not realistic long term, but he gets a hit, which is definitely nice for him. And Alec Bohm put together a really nice at-bat, which allowed the inning to continue, which allowed the pressure to go on the Mets. And from there, I thought, okay, you have Kingery up, and this is when he had bases loaded with no outs. He wasn't able to execute there. McCutchen ends up walking in a run, which was great to see. It was already 1-0 at the time because Gene Segura hit that homer. So you had McCutchen walk in a run. Rhys hits the double, and then Bryce Harper. I mean, this dude, oh, I love it. Oh, I love it so much. Are you kidding me? The way that he ropes the ball. Are you kidding me with the way that he approaches the plate? It's beautiful. It's poetry. It's the way baseball should be played. It's a phenomenal watch every time. And here he is just delivering, knocking in more runs because why not? And Matz, on the other side, struggled a bit. He went 4 1/3 and allowed 6 earned runs. So not his best performance. JT Realmuto, 0 for 4. I don't know if the Phillies should sign him. I'm just saying. You go 0 for 4, do you deserve the big payday? Looks like he's in a little bit of a slump. Please sense my sarcasm. Support for Sports Talk with Broads is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. You got the LED lights. I hate when you're shaving, you're making sure you're all clean down there, right? You get cut. You don't want to get cut. Well, you don't with the Lawnmower 3.0. Their 3rd-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce manscaping accidents thanks to the Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. You have a battery up to 90 minutes, the LED lights, 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. If you are listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand yourself. Trim that junk of yours. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BROD. It was fun watching this team play. Some nights this team You want to rip your hair out. You can't stand it. It doesn't feel like real life. They look miserable. They look lethargic. Their offense stinks. They can't create much opportunities. Their pitching becomes a nightmare. And there's so many games where it's, oh, I can't do this anymore. Why does this team consistently do this to me? And then you have outings like this where it's, hey, look at Aaron Nola do his thing. Hey, look at the offense give him a little bit of run support. Remember, besides the last game where Aaron Nola got the victory, it was over 300 plus days since the Phillies got a win with Aaron Nola on the bump. For Aaron Nola to get that win, I mean, come on. You can't have that when it comes to your ace. You got to get the wins when it comes to the aces. And there's no doubt I've been very impressed with Aaron Nola. There's no doubt I've been very impressed with Zach Wheeler, although the last outing wasn't his strongest by any means. But ultimately, I think that he has, been very successful and showed you what he can be. Let's see how he does against this Mets lineup tomorrow. Let's see if they can find a way to get 3 wins in a row. Let's see if they can get some sort of momentum. I've been pretty clear on this, where I see this team. I see them as a 500 team where you'll see a win, you'll see a loss. You'll see 2 wins in a row, you'll see 2 losses in a row. You'll see 3 wins, you'll see 3 losses. I mean, you're just going to see a big-time emotional roller coaster this entire season, and it seems like right now you're going through a little bit of a positive spurt, but you also have some help on the bump. But when you have this type of performance on the mound, it's different, and I was a little shocked, I guess you could say, to see him go over 100 pitches. Now, you know how baseball works. Early on in the season, you keep the pitch counts low, and you grow, and then you keep your starting pitching in longer as they get the flow, as they're more comfortable, as their arms are starting to get in the proper form, mid-season form, if you will. You allow them to go longer, but just the way that this has been handled to this point, you haven't really seen Joe Girardi take that jump yet, that, oh yeah, hey, you can go 100 plus, because normally he's getting pulled in the 80s or getting pulled in the high 80s, close to 90s. You haven't seen that 102, and maybe it's because it's Aaron Nola. He had trust in Aaron Nola to get it done. As I stated, it wasn't as if this was the night where Aaron Nola was so dialed in and perfect and executed insanely to the elite highest that he possibly could. This was more of an above average Aaron Nola. Not your elite Aaron Nola, you're above average. But it's crazy to think your above average Aaron Nola gives you 7, only allows 3 hits, walks 2, strikes out 8, and didn't allow a run. Right? So Aaron Nola was grinding, and maybe Joe Girardi saw that, but saw that he was still being successful. So it was, hey, Nola, look, keep going, baby. Keep doing your thing. Keep going. Keep working through this. And I'm glad that he did. So glad that he did. It's fun. It's fun watching pitching matchups where it's like, all right, baby. And when I say pitching matchups, yes, it's more fun if it's Aaron Nola, Max Scherzer. But in general, I enjoy dominant pitching. A lot of people find that boring. Well, why do you want to see dominant pitching? It's not like they have a lot of entertainment value. It's not like there's hits left and right. People like offense. Fans like offense. Fans love high-scoring games. And I like high-scoring games, don't get me wrong. But there's something about watching a pitcher do things to hitters where, they're so confused, or they walk away cursing themselves, or they try and break their bat over their leg, and it's constant. Next batter up, next batter up, next batter up, because they can't find a way to solve the puzzle, or they can't solve the mystery, because that pitcher is on a different level, winning the battle, whether it's, at a point where they are totally just taking down players left and right because they have 14 strikeouts, or even if it's a game like this where, it's not to the point where it's their best that pitcher specifically has that night, but I think it's even cooler when it's one of these moments because you see a pitcher who's battling himself, yet who still has enough to do it. But when I said that, I was thinking, I miss Chris Sale. I don't know why my mind went in that direction, but when Chris Sale gives you one of those performances where you're blown away, your mouth is wide open, you're like sweating watching this guy pitch because it's so much fun, and he dominates a game to like this lethal degree. Those Chris Sale ones, they're fun too. I don't know why that's what popped in my head. I don't know how that popped into my head. I hate the Boston Red Sox with a passion, so why don't we stop that part of the conversation here? Although the Boston Red Sox, woof, are they having a really tough season. Who am I to judge? So, I mean, I watch the Philadelphia Phillies play, and they've been on one interesting start of the season, let's say. If I do say so myself, it's been a very unique start to this season. I love what I'm seeing out of Alec Bohm, though. Another night where I'm loving his approach to the plate. I'm loving what he's doing at the plate. You know, we had a couple Phillies beat reporters on 97.3 ESPN, the Sports Bash with myself and Mike Gill from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we were asking, hey, this is before the season, like, hey, what do you think we'll see Bohm, and what should we expect from Bohm? And you heard some guys say, look, he's going to be an above-average hitter in this league, but we don't know really what to expect because making that jump is a big jump. Going from where he was to the major leagues, you know, it's a big jump. So while they see things in his game that says this guy will be a good hitter in this league eventually, it's hard to have high expectations right from the jump, right from the start. And I will say, he exceeded my expectations to this point. I didn't expect him to be some bum, but I don't know if I would have expected him to have, you know, the double down the left field line to start and the RBI and then the nice professional at-bat he gave you in this one, which was huge. I mean, that was big. That loaded the bases up. That had that fifth inning going. That had that fifth inning rolling. You have a couple men on, have a good at-bat, and he really did, and he battled. I'm loving the approach by him, and of course, I'm looking at him defensively, too. I want to make sure I keep my eye on that because we need to see him develop and grow in that area if he's going to play the hot corner. So, yes, I'm keeping my eyes on that position as well when it comes to that side of the ball. But I'm loving what I'm seeing out of him, for sure. It's just like when Spencer Howard's in or, Aaron Nola's on the bump or Zach Wheeler. When he's up, like Bryce Harper. When Bryce Harper is up to bat and JT right now, you're glued. Thinking of the mind game going on. Thinking of what's happening. All right, what did he just throw? Oh, he went outside off speed. Oh, he went fastball up and in. Right, you're thinking, all right, what's JT thinking? When Bohm's up there, I'm at the same point right now. Like, all right, how's he approaching this at bat? What's he thinking? And then when Scott Kingery's up and players like that, it's like, all right, here we go. That's an out. Unfortunately. That's just the way it goes right now, though, sadly. Look, nice win, 6-2 W. Would have liked to see the bullpen maybe get out of there, right? But of course, Rosso has to allow a couple runs because that's the nature of the beast. That's how it's been so far this season, and you got to live and die with it. That's just reality, you know? It's going to be nights where you don't need to abuse the bullpen. And luckily, you got to do that when you got Aaron Nola. Like, that's what you need to do with Nola, Wheeler. Grind out those 7 innings. Get you through that 8th inning. So then when the Eflins, the Spencer Howards, and possibly even the Arrietas are up, you can dive deeper in the bullpen. The problem is there's no one in that bullpen. All right, I die. Let's go. I digress with the bullpen. We know how bad it is. I shouldn't be bashing them today. No harm, no foul. They had a 6-0 lead at the time. Thank you all so much for listening. Remember, my sponsors, Manscaped, if you use promo code BROD at manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping. Not only that, Orbit Energy and Power, if you're looking to go solar or get any sort of upgrade to your home, check out their information, both in the description. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.